Hello.
Then. Now.
Down to the queens.
Episode number 500.
Forever.
Looks like hell froze over.
Without any more further ado,
Together.
let's jump straight into the show.
Fiend. So hello. Welcome to episode, I don't want to get this wrong. It's kind of an important episode. 137, yes, of the TEW9 challenge run. We are here. We are finally here. Let it be known, today is April 19th, 2025. And as I sit down, it is July 31st, 2025. But in the game, it is April 19th, 2025. And, in other words, it is WrestleMania 41, Night 1, in Las Vegas. First of two nights, we're finally here. You know, it all comes down to this. Everything for the last year has come down to this. And let's take a rundown of tonight's card. The main event, the Women's Royal Rumble winner, Io Sky, looks to regain her Women's World Championship from her former protege turned rival, Utami Hayashishita of Queendom Omega. We have the WWE Women's Championship on the line, a triple threat match. Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley both challenge Jade Cargill. The ECW World Championship is on the line. Warden defends against Jacob Fatu. We have an opening 8-man tag team match with Night 2 ramifications with CM Punk and the Antidotes, Ace Austin, Chris Bay, and Bronson Steiner taking on the Church of Rollins and Cody Rhodes. We have Becky Stardust against Lyra Valkyria. We have a United States Championship match, Bronson Reed and Oba Femi. We have a World Tag Team Championship triple threat match. Path of the Dragon and Fraxi and both challenge the Patriarchy. We have Kairi Sane against the Megasis for the Women's Liberty Championship. We have LA Knight against Logan Paul. We have Montez Ford against Angelo Dawkins. We have Gunther versus Daniel Bryan. How could I forget about that one? A dream match. And we have a Women's Tag Team Championship match. Bayley and AJ Lee against the champions New Millennium. And I believe that's everything. I can't remember if I've missed any matches for night one. No, I don't think I have. Obviously, you've already seen the pre-show with the Andre Dame Memorial Battle Royal on it, and the ECW Tag Team Championship match, and the Cruiserweight Championship match. But now, it's time to finally jump into the show. We kick off with America the Beautiful, blasted this year by Lillian Garcia. I can't remember who had it do last year. It used to be Kathy Cool before she became, a character on the show. But yeah, Lillian, she's here singing America the Beautiful to kick off night 1 of WrestleMania 41, when we go into a lovely hype video, which I probably haven't made. I debated it, but at this point I want to just get WrestleMania out and past WrestleMania. So, there probably won't be a hype video. I do apologize. I miss them too, but as you can tell, I've been very busy recently, so there's probably not going to be enough time. But yes, we do run down our most important matches, which are the 3 world title matches and our opening match. And speaking of the opening match, let's jump into the first match of the main card for WrestleMania 41. Ladies and gentlemen, it is go time. WrestleMania Night 1 officially kicks off. And it kicks off with some big implications for both tonight and tomorrow night. As here comes the American Nightmare.
The following contest is an 8-man tag match. Introducing first, from Atlanta, Georgia, weighing in at 220 pounds, the American Nightmare,
The American Nightmare Cody Rhodes has sort of made WrestleMania his own since he returned to the company back in 2022. It was 2 years ago at this event. Cody finished his story. He became the WWE Champion in the main event of WrestleMania. Last year, he walked into the main event of WrestleMania with that championship, and he walked out still champion, defeating the Ring General Gunther in the main event. But tonight, he's got 2 battles on his hands. The first is a long time coming, as Cody Rhodes looks to put an end to a reign of tyranny on Monday Night Raw caused by CM Punk and the Antidote. But of course, Cody can't do that alone with Punk as the WWE Champion, Bronson Steiner in his corner along with Ace Austin and Chris Bay. Cody is going to need some followers, some backup in his corner. And who better than the Royal Rumble winner Seth Rollins, the man who will challenge for the WWE Championship tomorrow night, and his reunited crew of Damian Priest and Buddy Bloody Murphy, the former Dangerous Alliance known as the Church of Rollins, for what we assume is one night only, back together, almost at full strength, for whatever reason than the greater good, the only way this man knew how.
And a combined weight of 691 pounds, Seth Rollins, Damian Priest, and Buddy Murphy.
And it's a really good feeling to see Buddy Murphy and Damian Priest once again flanking their Messiah. It was these two, along with Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae, and Ruby Riott in the Church of Rollins all those years ago when they dominated Monday Night Raw. They were in the position CM Punk now finds himself in, but now Rollins, he must step up and be the savior, the Messiah of the entire WWE Monday Night Raw roster, the entire company to an extent. And Seth Rollins, Buddy Murphy, Damian Priest back on the same page for one common goal, and that is to eradicate this reign of CM Punk. And Rollins promises to do that tomorrow night by taking the championship off him, but big stakes will be determined in tonight's opening match. Because if Rollins and company win, then the rest of the Antidote is banned from tomorrow night's main event. But if Punk and Co win, well, then they're not. Quite simply. And that would spell disaster for Seth. Just like this dangerous formation does.
Combined weight of 844 pounds, CM Punk, Braun Breaker, Ace Austin, and Chris Bay, the Anarchist.
Of course, Ace Austin and Chris Bay, former members of the Grand Jury, with Damian Priest and Buddy Murphy, stabbing them in the back to align with CM Punk and his vision in the Antidote. He's looking to cleanse this company of its poison, rotten from the core, he calls it, all these years later. He's finally shown his true colors and why he's really back here in WWE, and that is to dominate, to take over, to instill his future on the entire roster. We are down to our final 4 frontline fighters to put an end to Punk's egomaniacal reign on top. 88. I'll definitely take that, given some external factors that I'll get into after the match. But yes, it is a match that will set the pace for the entire night and tomorrow. The Church of Rollins back together for maybe one night only, maybe a little bit longer, who knows, against CM Punk's Antidote, Bronson Steiner, Ace Austin, Chris Bay, and himself. Of course, the main event tomorrow night is CM Punk defending the WWE Championship against Seth Rollins. So, we'll have to wait and see. If Rollins and Co. win this match, then the Antidote are banned from ringside for the main event. And this is your standard written hype opener. You know, it's an 8-man tag, all-star tag shit. Cody's doing his thing, Seth's doing his thing, Punk's doing his thing, Bron Breaker's doing his thing, the other 4 are there. But Bronson Steiner, he does go on a tear, which includes like spearing Damian Priest through a barricade. And, ABC, they do their thing, them and Buddy do some good things in the middle. But, the main crux of this is about Cody, Seth, and Punk. And Cody, of course, has a match tomorrow night against Jay White. So, what's going to happen with that one? But, in the end, there can only be one winner of this match to kick off the night. And the legal men are Cody Rhodes and Bronson Steiner. And Cody, he has beaten Braun before. He beat him in that last man standing match. He won their rivalry on the Netflix debut. And he gets Bronson Steiner up. He hits one crossroads. He hits a second crossroads. He nails a third crossroads. 1, 2, and CM Punk breaks up the pin. And, this frustrates Cody, of course. And he tries to get into a fight with Punk. But Rollins, of course, sees this. And he wants to get his hands on CM Punk too, and him and Punk get into a brawl. Like, I'd specifically try to make sure there's, like, kind of very little Punk and Seth stuff during this, because obviously that's our main event tomorrow. But, yeah. Seth and Punk do get into a little bit of a brawl here. And, Punk tries to get Seth up for the GTS. Seth elbows him in the side of the head. He nails him with a stomp. And then, but as he's celebrating stomping CM Punk, you see Bronson Steiner in the background. He's sort of like eyeing Seth up, ready to spear the fuck out of him. And Seth turns around, Bronson Steiner charges in for the spear. Cody, like the hero he is, rushes to his feet. He shoves Seth Rollins out of the way. And Cody eats the spear to his ribs. 1, 2, 3. The Antidote pick up the victory. So they're not banned from ringside in the main event. But Cody sacrificed himself tonight to save Seth Rollins. 79 for Murphy, 94 for Priest, 92 for Seth, 97 for Cody, 84 for Chris Bay, 78 for Ace Austin, 80 for Bronson Steiner, 93 for CM Punk. Bronson Steiner was off his game at WrestleMania. Sure, pal. Awesome stuff from you, It's not like I want to trust you for a big spot in the next coming months at all. No. But yes, Antidote do win. CM Punk's grinning. He's got that smug CM Punk grin on his face. But, yeah. The Antidote win the first match of WrestleMania 41. A very personal battle. Coming up next, a battle between two former tag team partners duking it out on the grandest stage of them all.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from Chicago, Illinois, weighing in at 232 pounds, Montez Ford.
Now, Montez Ford has actually faced off with Angelo Dawkins at WrestleMania in the past. They were in the same Razor Ramon Memorial ladder match 2 years ago when Dawkins was the Intercontinental Champion. But since then, Montez Ford went on to become World Heavyweight Champion. He won Money in the Bank, and he's proven everybody who touted him out as having this great potential right. But in that proving of potential, he sort of left behind his former tag team partner Angelo Dawkins, who's taken exception to Montez Ford's success. He's tired of seeing Montez Ford's face on all the posters. He's tired of seeing Montez Ford getting opportunity after opportunity while he flounders, in his own words. And tonight, it's put up or shut up time. Angelo Dawkins had a chance to prove everybody wrong who said he was the weak link of the Street Profits. But Montez Ford, he's going to try and get his career back on track. He's trying to get himself back into the chance of being world champion once again. And to do that, he can only beat whoever's in his way. And the man who's in his way is an old brother of his.
And his opponent from Cincinnati, Ohio, weighing in at 260 pounds, Angelo Dawkins.
The self-proclaimed golden prophet, Angelo Dawkins, seems to think a lot of himself. And he seems to think that it's Montez Ford, still, even all these years after the Street Profits breaking up, holding him down. But then Angelo Dawkins, he actually has walked into WrestleMania 4, as we said 2 years ago. He was the Intercontinental Champion, and now could be the biggest singles opportunity of his career. Of course, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins have faced off once before in the past. That was at Armageddon in 2023. It was Montez Ford who was victorious on that night, which really started this downward spiral of Dawkins. But tonight, after 6 months of animosity between the two, after Dawkins cost Tez back in Auckland, it's go time. 80, sure, for a nice little second match on the card, whatever, it's fine. Ford and Dawkins, their rivalry goes all the way back to, well, before Auckland Assault, I guess, but this chapter goes back to Auckland, where Montez Ford challenged AJ Styles for the WWE Championship, and Angelo Dawkins wasn't on the show, but he had to go do press for it, and he saw Tez's face everywhere, and, he was getting jealous of Tez getting all the success while he got nothing, and it led to him screwing Montez Ford on that show, and here we are now. Months of animosity between the two former tag team partners. And here at WrestleMania, it is Angelo Dawkins who picks up the win. He cheats, maybe gets his feet on the ropes or goes low on Montez Ford, but some nefarious manner, Angelo Dawkins picks up the victory over Montez Ford. 78 for Angelo Dawkins, 86 for Montez Ford, and yes, the Golden Prophet, as he calls himself, could he be the real Golden Prophet? Because he has won this match here tonight. So who's to say?
The following contest is a Falls Count Anywhere match and is for the WWE United States Championship.
Well, to all referees, all the ring crew, and hell, even all the fans here in Allegiant Stadium, I must say be careful and good luck with the war we're about to witness. In what has been an absolute dominant rise since the Royal Rumble back on February 1st, that man, Oba Femi, appeared representing NXT on the night. But he impressed a hell of a lot of people in that match, including SmackDown General Managers Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis, where he was quickly signed to a SmackDown contract. He's dominated everybody who stepped into his path, and that includes the United States Champion Bronson Reed when they had their championship match on Friday Night SmackDown a month or so ago, and the ring couldn't contain the weight of the two big men literally caving in under the weight and strength of these two behemoths, these two kaijus. And the only way to ensure that won't happen again is to take the fight outside the ring. So tonight doesn't have to end in that ring. It can end anywhere in Las Vegas, whether that be in the stadium, outside of the stadium, in the ring, outside of the ring. There will be a winner, and it will be a colossal, gigantic, dangerous United States champion, whoever it is, whether it be the current champion, Big Bronson Reed, or the ruler sitting atop a new kingdom. The ruler, Nigerian Thanos, he calls himself inevitable. Will he prove himself correct here tonight and take championship gold on the main roster in near record time? But this is the size and state of the champion he's got to topple. Back in January, Big Bronson Reed went one-on-one with his former tag team partner Ricochet for that championship. He destroyed Ricochet on the night, capturing his first singles championship in his WWE career, and he's torn through anybody he could up until again he met his match in Oba Femi, and we couldn't crown a winner of that match. But here tonight, it's different. There will be a winner regardless, even if the ring caves in once again. It will not end until there is a pinfall or submission. We're about to see a battle that will make King Kong Godzilla proud. Will it be the colossal Bronson Reed or Big Oba Femi, the ruler, leaving Las Vegas as the United States Champion? That championship has been held by a lot of greats throughout the history of WWE. Will one of these two men be the next future Hall of Famers to cut off their legacy with the United States Championship?
Introducing the challenger from Lagos, Nigeria, weighing in at 273 pounds, Oba Femi! And his opponent from Black Forest, South Australia, weighing in at 330 pounds, the WWE United States Champion, Big Bronson Reed.
Big Bronson Reed handing that championship over to Daphne LaShawn. She is the woman tasked, God bless her, with having to get between these two men and their quests to become the baddest champion on SmackDown. Up into the air goes the championship, and who will leave with it? 89. Let's go. I'll fucking take that. Absolutely, I'll take that. Oba Femi and Bronson Reed have a brawling Falls Count Anywhere match all around the arena. They spend maybe like 2 minutes in the ring, but they sort of get ushered out of the ring because, they broke the ring last time in their first match. So then it sort of spills into the crowd, and I imagine, what I'm imagining is it spills sort of into that area, where they have behind the hard cam, where they go a lot, where there's the scaffolding shit, and there's always a table set up out there for some reason. We go over there, that sort of area, and they're throwing bin cans at everyone, weapons and all sorts just flying about. Two big meaty men slapping meat, basically. And Bronson Reed picks up Oba Femi and he nails a Death Valley driver onto the floor on the outside. But you're big Bronson Reed, and you have a finishing move, but you need to find somewhere to hit this finishing move. So Bronson Reed looks around. He sort of goes up to the stands in Allegiant Stadium, and I'll give you an image in my head. Think of all matches, Shane McMahon versus The Miz from WrestleMania 35, where the finish was off that big platform thing, where they think they both fell off and Shane was on top of Miz and that's how he won. So we go up to a sort of area like that, but just Bronson Reed goes up there, and he's got Oba Femi down on the padded floor below, and he lets out a big mighty roar, and he flies off with a tsunami. But there's nobody home. Oba Femi rolls out of the way, and Bronson Reed crashes and burns. Holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. Oba Femi sort of sees the referees checking on Bronson Reed, but he doesn't want to win like that. He wants to put the man down himself. So he sort of just yanks Bronson Reed's carcass up. He nails that fall from grace powerbomb. 1, 2, 3. We have a new United States champion. Oba Femi. 76 for Oba, 86 for Bronson Reed, 89 for the match. That is fucking outrageously good, considering Oba isn't super over just yet. But winning a match at WrestleMania would certainly help him. And winning a championship at WrestleMania in an 89 will definitely help him. But yes, the ruler has arrived, and he's the new United States champion. Well, from a clash of colossal men to a clash of colossal egos here in Vegas.
Making his way to the ring from Cleveland, Ohio,
Logan Paul, a man with an ego the size of Bronson Reed and Oba Femi combined, stepping into the ring. And now he's got himself going toe-to-toe with another self-proclaimed megastar, that being LA Knight. But the difference between Logan Paul and LA Knight is Logan considers himself a megastar all around the world. But in the world of wrestling, comparatively, despite how well he's taken to this industry, he is still a rookie and has to scratch and claw his way to championship glory, and that's exactly the problem that LA Knight has had with Logan Paul, because he believes Logan Paul had that carpet rolled out to him. He believes that he didn't scratch and claw for 20 years just to get a tryout of WWE like LA Knight did, doing all that extra work just to get noticed and live his dream. And this is going to be one loudmouth trash-talking battle.
And his opponent from Los Angeles, California, weighing in at 241 pounds,
LA Knight, last year at WrestleMania, he walked down to the ring, he defeated The Rock one-on-one. He became then known as the People's Champion, but I'm assuming Kevin Owens would have something to say about that this year, considering he also considers himself the People's Champion. But LA Knight, on top of that, is a hard-working, blue-collar professional wrestler. Taking exceptions to Logan Paul, of all people, getting handouts in his industry. And tonight, it's put up or shut up. Time for talking between these two men is long over. It's time to see if Logan Paul has the Kavorka to hang with the megastar. 90. Sure. For a Logan Paul match, that's fine. But yeah, it's LA Knight and Logan Paul. You know the history here. It all started back on the Netflix premiere when Prime was thrown in the face of LA Knight. And it sort of spiraled from there. LA Knight saying he doesn't respect Logan Paul. And, Logan Paul saying, I got here in 2 years. It took you 20, bitch. And, megastars, egos. You saw the rivalry in real life, basically. Like, the worst part about doing this is that it felt like a natural feud, but when something's already happened in real life, I'm sort of, always less eager to do it, which I know I should sort of not think like that, but, obviously it naturally gets into my head. But anyway. So this match goes 11:27. We're not going to give fucking a shitload of time to Logan Paul because he doesn't need that long. He hits his big spots and he gets out. That's what he does. The longer you put Logan Paul in there, the more you expose him. So. But. I've just realised now that this is a very heel-heavy start to this show. But. Logan Paul, with his titanium right hand, sneaks some brass knuckles on when the referee's not looking, cracks them on the jaw of LA Knight, and Logan Paul defeats the megastar at WrestleMania. Hold your boos, I know, but I just felt like in kayfabe he should win. I don't know if the feud will be over, but I don't know. These are two people I don't really know what the immediate future holds for. I know long-term future for one of them. You can probably guess which one. But, yeah. Logan Paul picks up the win. 79 for Logan Paul, 90 for LA Knight. I don't have a justification. It's just, there's always one decision I do at these WrestleManias that I'm just like, fuck it, let's do that. Even though it probably wouldn't be the one that most people would see coming. And that was this. Logan Paul wins. Hype video. The first match on the show worthy of hype. It is the Liberty Championship match. The Megasis, undefeated since she came to WWE. Liberty Champion, after just 4 matches, has beaten Kairi twice already. This is Kairi's third attempt at the championship. Kairi, who's been belittled by Cammy over the last 2 years, looks to finally get her revenge by taking down Cammy's Megasis, her lethal weapon, statement Kemp, her prized, dominant Liberty Champion. Let's see if she can get it done.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the WWE Women's Hybrid Championship.
It is game day. Can third time be the charm for our resident underdog here? Our resident hero who's been told time after time that she cannot get it done. The story of Kairi Sane for this championship match here tonight goes back almost 2 years at this point, ever since Io Sky made her return from her concussion back at No Way Out 2023 with Cammy by her side. That night, Io betrayed Kairi Sane, and what we later found out was due to the inner workings of the evil mind of Cammy, the sinister siren in the mound of the Joshi Judas Io Sky, and forcing Io to betray her best friend to form her own queendom, a queendom she didn't think Kairi fit in, because she thought Kairi was holding Io back. But over the past few months, Kairi has tried her hardest to prove she does belong, and that includes coming up short twice, trying to capture the Liberty Championship from her opponent tonight, Cammy's weapon of mass destruction, the Megasis, who's undefeated since she debuted in WWE back in August and kicked Io out of Queendom, forming Queendom Omega. And she has dominated every single woman in her path. She's the longest reigning Women's Liberty Champion of all time, arguably the most dominant. And she has proven to be indestructible, whether it be Kairi Sane or anyone else. And she's almost a Herculean task, if you will pardon the pun. As the skyline of Mount Olympus moves, the sinister Cammy by her side, the mastermind behind the rise of Io Sky and the rise of the current Women's World Champion Utami Hayashishita, leading her warrior, her Megasis, into battle here on the grandest stage of them all. Now the story of Cammy and the Megasis needs no introduction. This is, again, like I said, undefeated, never been pinned, never submitted. It was eliminated from the Royal Rumble by a returning Kairi Sane, and Kairi gets that fire in her stomach to prove that she can belong, to shut Cammy up once and for all, because Cammy was the one who sent Kairi down this spiraling path that she's on now, where she's starting to doubt whether she still has it. All because Cammy got in the mind of Io, and while Io has since forgiven Kairi, the better question is, has Kairi forgiven herself? Because of Kairi, she blames herself for Asuka not being here at WrestleMania, for Ember Moon not being here at WrestleMania. They were both victims of an assault by the hands of Queen Omega and that woman, the Megasis, earlier on this year. And so this championship match not only for Kairi tonight, but also the shoulders of Asuka and Ember Moon, the weight of all of them on Kairi's shoulders, as she has to try and prove to everybody that she can get it done, regardless of the odds.
Introducing the challenger from Yamaguchi, Japan, Kairi Sane. And her opponent from Athens, Greece, the WWE Women's Hybrid Champion,
Not to be too much of a doomer, but this could be the last time we see the Megasis lift that championship up high, but something tells me, looking at the two women in that ring right now, it might not be. But Kairi does look determined. She does look focused. Can she do it? 89. That's a lot better than I was expecting, but I'm really glad it was really good, because this, believe it or not, this is like one of my highly anticipated matches on the entire show. So Kairi makes her way out, Megasis makes her way out, contrast in styles and entrances and vibes between the two. But yeah, it's basically the same match they've worked before, David versus Goliath. big man versus little man. You know, Megasis throws Kairi around a lot, mainly, and Kairi has to fight from underneath to try and get it back, and Megasis eventually hoists her up. She nails Fate's Descent. 1, 2, Kairi kicks out. And, you know, Cammy's at ringside getting very frustrated. Like, why don't you just go away, okay? We're sick of you, okay? Why don't you just go? Give up. We're done with you. Ready to move on. And the Megasis picks Kairi up again. She chokeslams Kairi back on the floor. 1, 2, kick out. Kairi won't stay down. And eventually she fires up. She starts getting the comeback. Bang, back fist number 1, back fist number 2. Big interceptor spear. Kairi goes up top. Nails the insane elbow. 1, 2, kick out. And, you know, Kairi's very frustrated. That was her best weapon. That was her best shot. And the Megasis was kicked out of it. So what's going to be next? Neither of these, with their everyone's thrown their biggest weapons at each other. Kairi goes back up top. She goes to hit a crossbody. Megasis catches her. And she picks her up, hits a big body slam. And we see the Megasis, she slowly starts to climb to the top rope. She like gets onto the second rope, like she's going to hit like a moonsault or something. But Kairi springs to her feet. And she, with all of her strength, she like grabs Megasis into a powerbomb position. Takes a couple of steps. And manages to hit a big powerbombing the Megasis down. And Kairi's all fired up. The crowd's all fired up. Cammy's looking in shock at that. Kairi goes up top. Hits the second insane elbow. Hooks the leg. 1, 2, 3. The Megasis has been slain. Kairi, after all this time, has managed to get one over on Queendom Omega. And she's the new Liberty Champion. 79 for the Megasis, 81 for Kairi. What a match. What a moment. What a woman. What a champion. And could this be an omen? Of course, our main event is also Queendom Omega versus Queendom Alpha. It's Io against Utami. Could this be an omen for what's going to come in our main event tonight? 79 for the Megasis, 81 for Kairi Sane. And then we celebrate. Kairi gets the pyro. Crowd's going crazy. She did this not just for herself, for Asuka, for Ember, for everybody. And yes, Kairi Sane, new Liberty Champion. Triple threat tag team action coming up now, and it wouldn't be Raw's World Tag Team Championships without these two. Despite Path of the Dragon being arguably the greatest tag team of the past few years, this is the first time since 2022 we've seen this pairing step into the ring at WrestleMania. Tozawa, of course, earlier on, late last year, made his return after over a year away. He had a life and career-threatening brain tumor. Many people didn't know if or when he'd ever step back into the ring again, but he did it. He reunited our favorite tag team, the greatest tag team of this generation, Path of the Dragon. And now, it's time to see if they can regain their spot at the top of the tag team division. But of course, there's new threats on the rise in the tag team division, including the rise of Fraxium.
And and a combined weight of 336 pounds, Axiom and Nathan Fraser.
Axiom have become a breakout tag team in just the past few months. On Monday Night Raw, they almost instantly clicked, and despite how many times they may bicker and may accidentally hit each other, they are arguably the future of the Raw tag team division. But that future could become the present tonight if Axiom and Nathan Fraser can get it done against arguably the greatest tag team of this generation, like I've said a couple of times in Path of the Dragon, and the current champions, who have an evil mastermind pretending to be their father in their ear. But of course they themselves are born into this industry. They themselves are generational talents, including this man, the King.
Representing the Patriots from Cincinnati, Ohio, weighing in at 223 pounds, one half of the World Tag Team Champions, Lexis King.
Lexis King was brought in to Monday Night Raw by Christian, who took him under his wing as another WWE star who had a failed fatherhood with his father, the late Brian Pillman, in the words of Christian Cage, and he guided him almost instantly to championship gold, along with who he calls his favourite son, his firstborn son, this son of a bitch.
Representing the Patriots from San Diego, California, weighing in at 200 pounds, one half of the World Tag Team Champions, Dirty Dominic Mysterio.
You know, I'm almost getting sick and tired of the sight of this son of a bitch with championships at WrestleMania. 2 years ago, he walked in at WrestleMania as the Cruiserweight Champion. He fought his father, Rey Mysterio, his actual father, Rey Mysterio, on that night, and lost the championship to Rey as he attempted to end his career. Last year, he won the Intercontinental Championship in that Razor Memorial ladder match. Actually lost it, funnily enough, days later on the Raw to WrestleMania to Humberto Carrillo. And tonight, he walks into the championship yet again, this time as one half of the World Tag Team Champion. So he has had a little bit of issues recently with his quote-unquote, adopted father, Christian, in recent weeks. He's been looking to try and get Dominic to lock in and get it done here tonight. But will Dominic let his father down or not? A 90. Okay, sure. But apparently there was a lack of psychology, which I think is fine for a World Tag Team Championship match like this. Patriarchy, Path of the Dragon, and Fraxium. You know, these teams have been going at it over the last couple of months, and it all comes down to this, a triple threat tag match at WrestleMania. Christian demanding better from his oldest son, his favourite son, Dirty Dom. And tonight is not that night, because we do have new World Tag Team Champions, and it is Fraxium. Axiom nails the golden ratio. He pins Dominic Mysterio. 1, 2, 3. And Fraxium are the new tag team champions. 83 for both Humberto and Tozawa, 95 for Axiom, 88 for Nathan Fraser, 69 for Lexis King, and 93 for Dirty Dom. So yes, the Patriarchy's reign is over, and Fraxium are now the top dogs in the Raw Tag Team division. And we'll have to see what's next for Dominic and his parents, and what's next for the Tag Team division. The Raw Tag Team division, I know long term where I want to go, but short term will be less solidified. Like, SmackDown's tag division will be the one to watch coming out of WrestleMania, I'll just say that. And then I also want to get Raws there, but I don't know specifically what I'm going to do, so we'll have to figure that out along the way. That's one of the championships where I still have, for the next 2 months at least, but eventually I do know exactly where those championships are going. But I'm rambling now. let's not kill Raxium's moment. They are the tag team champions, and yeah, they showed the fuck out. They were the best team in this match, 95 and 98. Other than Dominic getting a 93, but he's teamed over 69. They were the two best in the match. So yeah, well deserved, boys. Hype video. Remember the Name plays. That's probably the song for the video package. Becky Stardust. What a year she's had. From crazed, delusional heel to beloved icon babyface. Where, in hindsight, Lyra probably is in the right, but, you know, we love Becky, so fuck you. And she's in the Antidote, so fuck her. But yes, Lyra, Becky, one-on-one, coming up next. Will Becky, you know, make her name for herself, or will she continue to be in the shadow of her former idol?
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring from Dublin, Ireland.
Do not call her Bird Girl. Lyra Valkyria flies into WrestleMania with a point to prove. She wants to shed any skin she has left over from her association with Becky Lynch, who she claims is going through her midlife crisis right now as Becky Stardust. Lyra, her own girl, standing on her own 2 feet, joining up with the Antidote, looking to make the whole world learn the name Lyra Valkyria, a name they've not really called her the past year when she's been in Becky Lynch's shadow, in her own words. We don't even know if Lyra's name is on the lineage for the Women's Tag Team Championships, because she damn sure was never credited for it by Becky Lynch. A lot of her gripes do hold up, a lot of her gripes are true, but the way she's gone about it, we can't get on board with. And tonight, hopefully, Becky Stardust, she can turn back the hands of time and shut Lyra up for good, because she promised that tonight would be the night that Becky Stardust dies.
And her opponent from Dublin, Ireland, the man, Becky Lynch!
But you could always count on Becky Stardust to make one hell of an entrance at WrestleMania, the grandest stage of them all. She gets to showcase her skills once and for all, but this time it's personal. This time it's about her shutting up the mouth of her young protege turned Judas, Lyra Valkyria. Becky said she was just trying to mold Lyra into the future of the industry because she saw the potential in her, in Killer Kelly, and in Billy Starks. And Kelly and Billy are now to choose sides, siding with Becky, trusting Becky with the rest of their career. But for Lyra Valkyria, she's going out on her own. And tonight could be put up or shut up. Tonight could be the night that the name Lyra Valkyria goes down in history. Or tonight could be just a footnote in the career of Becky Stardust, the legendary career of a 3-time WrestleMania main event, the only woman to main event this event 3 times, could add Lyra's name to her legacy at the grandest stage. 90. Okay, both women get 90, both women score 87 rated matches. Or performances, even. But yes, Becky and Lyra, you've seen how these matches go. In real life, you've seen 2 of them. Maybe even 3 by the time this is uploaded. But, yes. This time, I guess, it's a little different because Becky's the heel, or Becky's the babyface and Lyra's the heel. But yeah. You know, basically your average Lyra and Becky match. Becky does hit the manhandle slam like twice, and Lyra kicks out. Nightwing, Becky kicks out. And then in the end, Lyra does hoist Becky up for another Nightwing, and she gets the free. She pins Becky squeaky clean in the middle of the ring. And remember the name indeed, because Lyra has done what she set out to do. She's conquered her demons, and she's cemented her legacy in this division. Both women scoring 87s, as I said before. Becky has a gimmick that's getting stale. Well, that's interesting, because we're about to address that. But yes, after the match, Lyra, she celebrates, she leaves the ring, and Becky gets to her feet. And, like, the crowd is clapping Becky, cheering her on. And she sort of looks around, and you can see she's sort of happy that the crowd is cheering her on, but also she feels disappointment in herself that she'll let these people down. And, like, the camera just follows a sort of downtrodden Becky up the ramp. Like, there's a child in the front row dressed as Becky Stardust, and Becky sort of can't even bring herself to look her in the eyes because she's let her down. And she walks to the top of the ramp, you know, and as she gets to the top of the ramp, he sort of stops and sort of looks up at the stage, takes a big deep breath, and then, like, there's a referee that's like, come on, let's go, Becky, let's go to the back. And Becky sort of just turns back around towards the crowd before she just walks across the stage and throws herself off the stage through a table waiting on the floor, which, you know, gets a big gasp from everybody in the crowd. But what the fuck? Becky has just thrown herself off the stage. What on earth did we just see? Here at Sin City, things are about to go down. It's a Sin City street fight between two huge personal rivals over the past 6 months.
Following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Tacoma, Washington, weighing in at 228 pounds, Smooth Scott.
Now, the last at WrestleMania, Swerve worked in and out as the World Heavyweight Champion. That reign took him to Glasgow, Scotland. That reign took him to Clash at the Castle back in June, where he faced off against Drew McIntyre in front of his hometown. Drew's friends, his family, were in the front row that night. And on that night, Swerve was the better man. Swerve defeated Drew McIntyre in his own country, clean as a whistle. On that night, Drew McIntyre was cited as the demise of his career. He says that that monkey has been on his back for this entire time. 10 months later, it's all he can think about. The disappointment from his friends and family that night, and he blames Swerve for that. So tonight, it's personal between Swerve and Drew. Drew says that if it's up to him tonight, he's gonna bust Swerve up, and he's gonna see not just Swerve, but the disappointment of the faces of his friends and his family, and they're gonna be even more disappointed with what he does. More disappointed than losing that championship match in Glasgow, when he uglies Swerve and becomes a man he doesn't want to become, a man he doesn't want his family to see him become. But it's what's necessary to put an end to this personal grudge that Drew McIntyre can't seem to shake. And for Swerve, this is about more than that as well. It's about Swerve looking to regain his footing, get back a chance to become world champion, and finally put to rest his evil naysayer. Now, one piece of this puzzle I've yet to mention is Xavier Woods, the man Drew McIntyre beat at WrestleMania last year, a man that Drew McIntyre said would never be good enough to be World Heavyweight Champion. That man did go on to become World Champion at SummerSlam last year, doing so by dethroning Swerve Scott. And Drew McIntyre again cites Swerve as the man trying to ruin Drew's life by letting Xavier Woods become World Champion. 99! Yo, I didn't expect this to be that good because Drew's declining in the game. Swerve and Drew, this is a story that goes back as far as Clash at the Castle, when Swerve beat Drew in that World Championship match. Drew then went on a downfall, which started with a shoot in the game where he got exposed for a sex crime or whatever, but I took the scandal off him after a little bit because, you know, I thought it was silly. And it also involved his enemy Xavier Woods becoming World Champion, him losing to Woods. He blames all of this on losing to Swerve. And when he looks at Swerve, he sees the disappointment in his family's eyes and all that shit. And he has to avenge that. He has to beat Swerve tonight to get even. In a Sin City street fight, you know, there's blood. Like, I was going to say a lot of people in real life wanted to see this sort of match if Drew would have gone to AEW, and he could have. Instead, he's teaming with Jelly Roll and Logan Paul. So, yeah. But Drew McIntyre, you know, I've just realised in real life, Drew, his WrestleMania match was a street fight against the former world champion who beat him at Clash at the Castle in Glasgow, and that's also this. Weird, huh? But yeah. And just like real life, Drew does exercise his demon. He, I imagine the finishes he puts, it's the same finish, I think he did it with Priest. I can't remember if he actually did what I'm going to do, or if it was just a steel chair to the head. But he gets Swerve up in the corner, he puts his head between the steel chair, and he claymores him as he's leaning up against the ropes. And he stares right into the eyes of Lord Bando at ringside as the referee counts 3. And Drew lets out a big scream of victory, like Hangman after the cage match. He's finally done it. He's exercised his demon. He's put that son of a bitch down. He's got his revenge from Glasgow. And maybe, finally, he can move on. 95 for Swerve, 82 for Drew. Yeah. 99 rated match. Match of the night so far. Let's see if we get a 100. There's certainly a match on here I'm expecting to get a 100. But the game will probably fuck me in that. So we'll have to wait and see. More championship action here on Monday Night Raw, as Bayley must put to rest her issues with a former rival turned once again friend for the greater good once again. Now Bayley had a very successful WrestleMania last year. She walked into that 4 Horsewomen main event on night 2. She walked out with the WWE Women's Championship, cementing herself among the greatest to ever do it in the women's division here tonight. But now it's not about the present, it's not about the past, it's about the future. And Bayley and her tag team partner tonight, AJ Lee, have to try and get a foot on the future. That being Cora Jade and Roxy Perez, 2 women who idolized both Bayley and AJ when breaking into this industry. But they've since joined forces of CM Punk and this antidote and his cure for this company, as they are big parts of what he claims the future of his industry will be. But Bayley and AJ must come together for the greater good and put these 2 women out of their place and really remind the world who the hell they are. AJ, she's been back for a number of years now, but this is the first time in many years that she's actually competed here at WrestleMania. She's normally not around during WrestleMania season, but Bayley was the one who made the call at the Royal Rumble, and AJ Lee returned to help her eliminate Roxy Perez and Cora Jade. Again, 2 women who look up to both these women. They've had a tumultuous past. AJ has betrayed Roxy in the past. Cora has betrayed AJ in the past. They've both betrayed Bayley. Bayley's betrayed both of them. It's a hell of a lot of emotions between these 4 women, and the tag team championships have drawn a line in the sand. You either pick one side, you're with the antidote or you're without the antidote. And of course, the interesting factor here is, of course, the Antidote led by CM Punk and AJ Lee, of course, the wife of CM Punk, but Punk himself says that his own wife isn't a part of his future. That goes to show how not personal this all is to him, but it is very personal to at least one of these women. Now for Roxy Perez, this is another WrestleMania. For Roxy Perez, this is another match against Bayley. She's already beaten Bayley. She faced off against AJ. She beat AJ for a Liberty Championship back at SummerSlam a few years ago. For Cora Jade, this is personal because ever since their days together in Damage Control, Cora has looked up to Bayley. Bayley was her idol, her best friend at many points, and ever since Bayley caused the desolation of Damage Control, Cora Jade has not been able to prove that she belongs with Bayley. Every single turn, Cora and Bayley have stepped into the ring together. Bayley has come out on top. But Cora, desperate to prove that she's better than her idol, she's better than Bayley, she's better than the woman who won the main event of WrestleMania last year, and she's doing it alongside her best friend, Roxy Perez, as they sit under the learning tree of another man they once worshipped. Now, they take guidance from, that being CM Punk.
The following contest is a tag team match scheduled for one fall and is for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Introducing the challengers, Bayley and AJ Lee. And their opponents, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez, the New Millennium.
Now, New Millennium have held those championships since Survivor Series. They dethroned Becky Lynch and Lara Valkyria for those championships. This has been their first official run as the tag team champions. Cora Jade has held them before alongside Bayley, of all people. '88, sure, good little match. We're at the point where I'm saying sure to an 88, like that's not really good. Women's tag titles, New Millennium of the Antidote, Roxy Perez and Cora Jade against Bayley and AJ Lee, who had to come back together. They had their own issues, but what they dislike more is these young'uns, disrespecting them. And yeah, this match goes 10:59, and in the end, we've got Bayley and Cora in the match. Cora is another one. She's been obsessed with beating Bayley. She's never been able to do it ever since their days together in Damage Control. It's time to find out if tonight is the night for Cora Jade. And Bayley hits the rose plant on Cora. Roxy breaks it up. AJ comes in, her and Roxy sort of fight off. And, Bayley and Cora are going at it. Bayley goes to hit a Bayley to belly on Cora, but Cora's got that countered. She's got that scouted. She's been watching Bayley long enough now. And she plants Bayley with that double underhook DDT. And she finally pins Bayley. And New Millennium retain the Women's Tag Team Championship. 88 rated match, 93 for AJ, 85 for Bayley, 92 for Roxy, 82 for Cora. I imagine, when the referee counts 3, Cora's expression completely changes to, shock and just joy. Because finally, this bitch, in Cora's mind, she's proven she's better. Sure, she's lost to Bayley a couple of times, but, those are in the past, this is the present. And Cora Jade pins Bayley to retain the championships for New Millennium. 93 for AJ, 85 for Bayley, 92... I've gone over that, haven't I? Yeah, 92 for Roxy, 82 for Cora. And yes, still, women's tag... Is that the first title retention of the night? I think so? Yeah, because Kyrie won. For Axiom 1, I don't think I've had any other title matches so far. And the 2 on the pre-show were changed. Yes, I think this is the first title change of the night. Will it be the last? Who knows? Before then, we got a Hall of Fame segment. Triple H, he went in the Hall of Fame, so he's here. Spits his water out. The gay mug, he's here. And, yeah. He's here to make it all about Travis Scott. Ladies and gentlemen, take it in.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Aberdeen, Washington, weighing in at 210 pounds, Daniel Bryan.
Now, for the first time, that theme song Final Countdown is literal, because we now have the expiration date on the career of one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time. Daniel Bryan said next year WrestleMania Las Vegas, or New Orleans, will be his retirement from the industry, but his semi-retirement begins tonight here in Las Vegas, and he does so with a generational dream match we've all been waiting to see. The crowd serenades the American Dragon. The final countdown on his legendary career starts tonight, and it starts with him going to war with another one of the greatest wrestlers of his generation, the Ring General, last year's Royal Rumble winner, last year's WrestleMania main eventer, Gunther. And their issues, of course, started back at the Royal Rumble when Bryan eliminated Gunther from that match. And he must shush now for Ludwig Kaiser.
Ladies and gentlemen, the matter is highly. What you're about to witness is dignified deformation executed by unprecedented precision. A diabolical athlete who was stopped at nothing to uphold the integrity and honor of this great sport. Der Ring General, Gunther.
Now the Ring General, one of the most dangerous men of this era. He's called out Daniel Bryan. He said, Daniel Bryan, I don't respect you. I think I'm better than you. And I think it's quite frankly a disgrace that many consider you the greatest wrestler when I'm around. Now this is a match a lot of people have longed for the longest time. And Vegas batten down the hatches with what we could be about to see. Could be one of the greatest matches in the history of WrestleMania. Daniel Bryan, he said next year New Orleans is his retirement, but Gunther says good luck making it there. And tonight, let's see how much of that pain and dominance from the Ring General Daniel Bryan can take. Or if the American Dragon has one more trick up his sleeve to outsmart and outwit the Ring General. 99. God fucking damn it. This was the match I was talking about, where I was like, I've got a match I think should get a 100, but we'll see. I can't be disappointed in a 99. I cannot. But it would be a 100 IRL. It's Gunther and Bryan. Daniel Bryan, of course, says that the end of his full-time wrestling career starts tonight, and he's going to retire in New Orleans, the stadium that means so much to him next year. I have decided officially, by the way, in case you couldn't work out, that I'm staying in New Orleans next year instead of going back to Vegas. Mainly because the real-life Las Vegas logo they use in WrestleMania next year, I don't really like. I don't think it would look very good on my graphics, so I'm going to stick with the New Orleans one. And also, I already had the Bryan thing planned there. I don't want to not do that because it's lame. But yes, a dream match a year out from Bryan's retirement. Him and Gunther finally one-on-one. I've had these two apart for a long time. I've always in the back of my mind, every single time I start like a new season and I do like my mass creative shit, like planning out most of SummerSlam and most of WrestleMania depending on the season, always trying to find a way how can I get Bryan and Gunther before it's too late. And this year I finally decided to bite the bullet and do it. And it gets a 99, so yeah, good job me. I don't really have much to say. It's Daniel Bryan versus Gunther. It's a wrestling clinic. It's just two incredible athletes wrestling each other. I know Gunther's been disrespectful of Bryan in the build-up, but it's a very respectful encounter in that way. And in the end, Gunther puts Daniel Bryan to sleep in the sleeper hold, and he passes out. And Gunther picks up the victory. 86 for Daniel Bryan, 97 for Gunther. Yeah, this show has been really heel heavy. Jesus Christ! I've literally only just realised now, but sure. But yes, Gunther puts Daniel Bryan to sleep, and the end of Daniel Bryan's full-time wrestling career is used to elevate Gunther. Gunther's been, a bit angry ever since, Gunthergate last fall. So let's see if this is the turnaround he needs. Hype video for our first of 3 world title matches. It's the WWE Women's Championship, Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley both challenging Jade Cargill for the title. Back at SummerSlam last year, well, it kind of goes all the way back to WrestleMania last year when we had Rhea and Jade for the Liberty Championship, and Rhea beat her quickly and shockingly because Tatum Paxley helped her out. And then we didn't see Jade again till SummerSlam, where Jade returned during Rhea's ECW Women's title match against Florence, and Rhea tore her quad in that match, which in kayfabe we've credited to Jade. And then Rhea came back in February, tried to win the Iron Survivor. Her and Bianca drew, went into overtime, and then Rhea got screwed and Bianca won it. And then Rhea got into the championship match by pinning Jade on Raw. So here we are. 3 top dogs of Raw's women's division, but only one of them can be the top dog. Only one of them can be the champion. Who will it be?
The following contest is a triple threat match and is for the WWE Women's Championship.
Ladies and gentlemen, triple main event time is underway. Our first of 3 World Championship matches here tonight.
Introducing the challenger from Knoxville, Tennessee,
The EST, the franchise player of WWE's women's division, after coming up victorious in the main roster debut of the Iron Survivor Challenge back at Fastlane, a roadblock, she earned herself a shot for a match everybody's wanted to see ever since Jade Cargill arrived in WWE. People were speculating, will it be Jade and Bianca one-on-one? But we are finally going to see Jade and Bianca tonight with the WWE Women's Championship on the line. But things aren't quite that simple, because there's a third wheel in this, a thorn in the sides of both Bianca and Jade throughout their careers here in WWE, looking to regain her spot as the top dog of this women's division. And of course referring to Mami.
Introducing the challenger from Adelaide, South Australia, Riott.
Now, Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, their history goes back a few years when they were shocking back and forth the Raw Women's Championship in 2022 and 2023. But Rhea and Jade last year, their issue really began at WrestleMania over the Liberty Championship. It was on that night Jade Cargill tasted defeat for the first time in her WWE career, and she was quickly defeated by Rhea Ripley thanks to Tatum Paxley's Alliance of Rhea forming on that night, and Rhea became the Liberty Champion, and Rhea used that championship, got the 10 defenses, earned a shot at the ECW Women's Championship back at SummerSlam, only for Jade Cargill to return on that night, taking out Rhea, tearing her quad in the process, keeping Rhea out of action for the rest of 2024. She didn't make her way back until February, where she of course had it out for Jade. She wanted to get her hands on Jade and that World Championship. But with Bianca Belair winning the Iron Survivor Challenge, there was a bit of a hurdle. And that has led to the situation we are in right now, with Rhea and Bianca both challenging for the championship at the grandest stage of them all against this dangerous, dominant champion.
Introducing the champion from Orlando, Florida, the WWE Women's Champion, Jade Cargill.
Jade Cargill, already in just a short period of time, that we should have been on the main roster for like 18-20 months, and she's already been Liberty Champion. She's already been WWE Women's Champion. Now she enters her first big WrestleMania championship match as the champion. Malcolm Bivens, of course, somewhere watching on as Jade Cargill looks to cement herself as the alpha female of this women's division. 3 of the biggest, most powerful names in the entire women's division, but there can only be one top dog, one mouth to feed at the top of the division, one woman to hoist the WWE Women's Championship up high, and Jade is hoping it's going to be her, but it could be Bianca, and it could be Rhea. Who will it be? $90, sure. Not quite the IRL triple threat, but I have replaced EO with Jade Cargill, so, you know, what can you do in that regard? But, you know, it's still pretty good. We can limit Jade as much as we can, and just do Rhea and Bianca for most of it. But Jade can come in and hit her big spots, you know, hype moments and aura, on all that. And, yes, in the end, I don't really have anything else to say, other than we do have our winner. We know who the official top dog, the alpha female of Raw's women's division is at this current moment in time. And that is the new WWE Women's Champion, Bianca Belair. She pins Jade? I thought I put Rhea. She pins Rhea Ripley with the KOD in 1340. 96 for Bianca, 94 for Rhea, 87 for Jade, so there you go. it just felt time. Bianca hasn't had a run with the belt since I think it would have been New Year's Revolution, where her and Rhea had the TLC match and Charlotte cashed in. And she's sort of just been treading water for a long time now. And it's time, you see this 96, it's Bianca, get her back onto the top, prove that she's back on top of the division. She wins this match here. I will say, I've said it before, that part of the reason I did this triple threat is because I was going to just do Bianca and Jade one-on-one. And I was like, do I really want to blow up that match by putting a third person in it? And then they did it IRL with Rhea and Bianca by putting Io in it. So I was like, yeah, sure, if Triple H can do that, so can I. And I will say, Rhea's immediate future, I know exactly what she's doing, and I think Bianca and Jade's future will probably end up being another match between them. So we will get that singles match, most likely. But, yeah. Bianca Belair, the new WWE Women's Champion. Before our next match, we get a backstage segment. Seth Rollins is in his locker room. He's pissed off. He can't believe that, his team lost in the opening match tonight. When Cody walks in, holding his ribs, he's got his ribs taped up, which is bad news for him because he does have a match tomorrow night against Jay White. But he sits down next to Seth, and he goes, I know tonight didn't go the way we wanted it to, but we can't let that get to you, Seth. You need to stay focused. I know that the Antidote guys are not gonna be banned tomorrow night during the main event, but you will now be prepared for their arrival. You've fought off Roman Reigns and the Bloodline before in similar situations to this. You fought off Punk. You fought off a lot of other people. It doesn't matter. They can throw anybody at you, Seth. I believe you can still get it done. As for tonight, I couldn't watch you take any more harm. You are our last hope, Seth. We need you to be able to beat CM Punk, and I couldn't let Bronson Steiner rip your ribs apart. For me, I probably just signed my death warrant for tomorrow night. But I'd rather me than you at this point in time, Seth. So I'm just here to say, tonight, let's scrub it off. Tomorrow night, bring your best, beat CM Punk, and then Monday night, I'll come to the ring, and I'll shake the hand of the new WWE Champion.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall, and is for the ECW Championship!
Ladies and gentlemen, we battened down the hatches once already tonight with Oba Femi and Big Bronson Reed. But this may be just as dangerous, because Las Vegas, there's a werewolf on the loose. Now, Jacob Fatu's rise in WWE over the past few years has been quite the sight to see, from being a part of the Bloodline to not being a part of the Bloodline, to being with Seth Rollins, to being away from Seth Rollins, and now he's out on his own, looking to create his own legacy, his own path. And that started back at Roadblock when he won the men's Iron Survivor Challenge, beating out a lot of the top names in this industry, including Roman Reigns, including Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, and Jay White, to earn himself a World Championship opportunity. His first singles World Championship opportunity of his career. And it's on the grandest stage of them all. And he's doing it by himself, but he is also representing his family, who we'll see in Tribal Warfare tomorrow night, because Warden is the hand-picked champion chosen by the final boss, The Rock, and Jacob Fatu fighting on behalf of himself and Roman Reigns and the Usos and Solo Sikoa. Can he put the first chink in The Rock's dream armor and take championship gold to the Yanoa'i family and create the Jacob Fatu legacy here tonight? But Warden is far from an easy challenge. He has been on top of ECW almost this entire year since he made his return to the brand last April. Now, Warden has been on a chase to get that championship back after he lost it to Roman Reigns. He still blames the Bloodline for him losing that championship in the first place, because it was Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa who took that championship from him back in 2023. And now he's back. He's been on a tear looking to end the Bloodline. He almost took the championship from Jey Uso, ended up getting it off Adam Cole instead, but he has remained at loggerheads with the Bloodline ever since, taking care of Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso, even stepping in for the new Bloodline in War Games, the only non-family member in that match. That's how personal this family drama is to Warden, and why The Rock has backed him as his chosen champion to take care of Jacob Fatu here tonight. Of course, Warden has picked up a couple of big victories throughout his career. He's beaten Roman Reigns multiple times, Brock Lesnar he's beaten, among others. And tonight he looks to add the Samoan Werewolf to that list.
Introducing the challenger from Sacramento, California, weighing in at 285 pounds, the Samoan Werewolf, Jacob Fatu. And his opponent from Cleveland, Ohio, weighing in at 266 pounds, the ECW champion,
Warden hosting that silver championship up high, but will that silver championship be the silver bullet he needs to take down the werewolf standing across the ring from him, or will we have a new, dangerous, scary ECW World Champion? Apparently lack of psychology. Sure, Warden and Jacob Fatu have their big wild brawl. The second of the night, because Oba Femi and Bronson Reed also had one. But yes, Jacob, he won the Iron Survivor Challenge. He beat a bunch of big names. Roman Reigns was in that match. Seth Rollins was in that match. Not Seth Rollins. Sami Zayn was in that match. Cody Rhodes was in that match. John Cena was in that. Was John Cena in it? No, it was Cody, Jay White, Roman, Sami, and Jacob. Yeah. So yeah, that was the lineup. But yeah, Jacob Fatu, him and Warden first went face to face back in War Games when Warden was chosen by the Bloodline, before we knew The Rock was the leader of it all. And now The Rock has chosen Warden as his champion, and he's said he needs to get the job done tonight. He needs to take care of Jacob Fatu, because we don't want any championships falling into this family. And in 13 minutes and 9 seconds, Jacob Fatu hits that big moonsault. He goes back up top. He hits another big moonsault. He hits a third, 3 in a row on Warden. 1, 2, 3. Yalamin. The Samoan Werewolf. Warden forgot his silver bullet tonight. And we have a new ECW World Champion. His name, Jacob Fatu. 91 for both men. That's pretty good. But yeah, tomorrow night we will see Tribal Warfare, and could, just like Kyrie beating the Megasis earlier on, this could be an omen for that. Because, The Rock's surely not going to be happy that his guy, his man, came up short here tonight, and now there's championship gold back in the Bloodline. But yes, Jacob Fatu wins his first World Championship, the ECW Championship, here tonight at WrestleMania 41. You know what we're all about. You know why we're here at this point. It is the main event of night 1 of WrestleMania. Io Sky, Women's Royal Rumble winner 2025, and the current Women's World Champion, the former heir apparent turned evil queen Judas, Utami Hayashishita, who cashed in her Money in the Bank to win the championship in Auckland from Dakota Kai in October, has fought off Dakota since. She's been trying to get it back. Candice LeRae as well, before, anything happened between those two. But this always felt like the end goal. Io last year walked into WrestleMania with that very championship, with Utami's sinister siren by her side. Now, she stands across the ring from her. Queendom Alpha, Queendom Omega, old versus new, student versus teacher, champion versus challenger. Only one woman can rule SmackDown.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the Women's World Championship.
Everything comes down to this. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you to Poppy for that wonderful introduction. But now it's time to get serious. Because everything around the Women's World Championship over the past 2 years has come down to this. The 2025 Women's Royal Rumble winner, long overdue, walking down the ramp for her first ever WrestleMania main event. Now the story of Io and Queendom needs no introduction. I'm going to have to do my best to give you all a rundown on what led us to tonight, because that woman right there, Io Sky, came back with a vengeance after a career-threatening concussion 2 years ago, aligned with Cammy, as we mentioned earlier on tonight, when she came out with the Megasis. And it was last year at WrestleMania, Io walked in as the dominant Women's World Champion. She lost the championship on that night to Dakota Kai, her Judas, who outsmarted Queendom at every single turn. And now, Io walks in, the hero, looking to save SmackDown's women's division, not from Queendom per se, but a more dominant, dangerous Queendom Omega, led and headed up by the former heir apparent, the woman earmarked to take Io's spot until she took it by force. It was back in October, Auckland Assault in New Zealand. Former Miss Money in the Bank Utami Hayashishita took her next step up from being heir apparent, from being Miss Money in the Bank, to being the leader of this entire division. She ripped that championship from Dakota Kai in her home country, and Utami, along with the Megasis Julia, Yoko Uehara, and Saya Kamatani, have ruled as Queendom Omega ever since. And Io, she came back, she won back the hearts of the WWE Universe, she won back her friendship with Kairi Sane. Now even Dakota Kai and Io Sky are on the same side of this war against Queendom Omega. Because they see the tyranny was not through Io herself, but through Cammy and whoever's ear she's in. And right now, that woman right there, the Women's World Champion, Utami Hayashishita, is the woman holding the gold and holding the SmackDown Women's Division on her own iron grip. When Utami joined WWE in the 2022 Royal Rumble match, she cited facing off against Io as one of her reasons for joining WWE. She said it was a dream match of hers to face off against her idol, her inspiration. And now, it's finally happening for the very first time in the main event of WrestleMania, with 2 years of blood and hatred between these two women, and a championship separating the friends everywhere in this division, because it is the most important prize in the game today.
Introducing the challenger from Tokyo, Japan, Io Sky. And her opponent from Japan, the Women's World Champion,
Queendom Alpha, Queendom Omega, the Alpha and the Omega, the leader and the student, now the champion and the challenger. WrestleMania Night 1 ends now. 99. Okay, I was a little bit worried given, some stuff I booked during this match, but I'll take that. I would have liked a 100, but something in my heart knew it wasn't going to happen. But 399s on one show I can't really complain with. They'll probably all be in the Slammy run-in for Match of the Year, because I only had one 100, and that was Seth and Gunther at SummerSlam. But yes, when I brought Utami in the Royal Rumble in 2022, part of the reason she came to WWE was to have this match. And I was originally going to run it at SummerSlam that year, but Io got concussed, so it didn't happen. And I'm glad it didn't. Because now we're here in the main event of WrestleMania. And this is mainly, the main arc of the... obviously I know where we're going after WrestleMania, and it sort of, still kind of is Queendom. But the main Queendom arc ends here. Io and Utami do their thing. Go watch their real match if you want more on that, I guess. But what happens is, of course, after a certain point, the rest of Queendom Omega appear at ringside. We're not doing music. Go watch Punk and Cena at Night of Champions, and then go watch Hangman and Mox from All In, and tell me that the problem isn't, the music hitting and the match having to stop. Run-ins, especially when in a story like this and a blow-off match like this, are to be expected. But the entire thing of, their music's playing and here they come, why would Penta, for some reason it was Penta, if he was in a rush to get to the ring, why would he have to pose and wait for his music? Just fucking run out. You're in a rush. So the Queen of Omega girls, they are at ringside. They sort of just appear, and they start fanning Utami down, trying to hype her up. And Io, of course, spots this. She does a dive, takes them all out on the outside, and gets back in the ring. She's pointing at herself, she's emoting, and goes up top. She goes to hit the moonsault. Utami boots her out of the air, hits the hijack bomb. 1, 2, Io kicks out. Then Queen of Omega begin to be a problem, because there's so many of them at ringside. That's when Kairi rushes out from the back and she tries to take the fight to them. But of course she's outnumbered, and as Kairi's outnumbered, Asuka and Ember Moon are back. And they rush out to ringside as well, and they fight up, and the rest of them three and the rest of Queen of Omega fight off. I know there's 4 Queendom girls, including the Mega Sis, and 3 of them, but fuck it. They fight off, and now we're back to just Io and Utami, with, I guess, Cammy there as well. And Io, she gets the upper hand. She goes up top, she hits over the moonsault on Utami. 1, 2... and the referee is pulled out of the ring by Candice LeRae. Boos echo around the stadium. Candice sort of smiles at Io. We know her motivation at this point. And Io goes to get in the face. She leans over the ropes. She gets into the face of Candice. And Candice smacks her across the face with the championship. And Io collapses to the floor. Utami sees this. She goes to capitalize off this. She picks up Io Sky. She nails the hijack bomb for a second time. Candice tosses the referee back into the ring. And he counts 1, 2, and Io gets a shoulder up again. Crowd erupts. Candice can't believe it. She's screaming at ringside. She's so angry. Like, what do you mean that wasn't enough? She goes to do it again when the crowd erupts because Dakota Kai charges out from the back. And she boots Candice in the face as she goes to hit Io with the belt. And Candice sort of scurries away, scurries back up the ramp as Dakota, she's standing at ringside, the championship's on the floor. And she picks up the title. And she sort of just stands there looking at the title. Io and Utami are doing their thing in the ring. Io manages to nail a big springboard dropkick on Utami, taking her down. And then as she kips up and flips up, her eyes lock with Dakota at ringside. She sees Dakota just staring at the belt. And she sort of looks up at Io. Her and Io share a look. And Dakota sort of just gives her a nod of her head. She looks down at the championship, like one last time. And she drops it on the floor. She's finally let go of her championship. She sort of just takes a step back, stands on the ramp. Io nails over the moonsault. 1, 2, 3. We have a new Women's World Champion. Io has won back the championship. She lost last year to Dakota Kai. And now she has it back. 92 for Io, 95 for Utami, 99 for the match. And just like that, the reign of tyranny of Kingdom Omega has been ripped to shreds. Io holds the championship up high. Kairi rushes out. They hug in the middle of the ring. We sort of replicate WrestleMania 20. But Kairi has a mid-card belt and Io has the world title. They hold their championships up high, hugging. They celebrate. The pyro goes off. Dakota, she's folding her arm. She's doing the swerve on the ramp. Giving a smile to Io and Kairi in the ring. And yes, after what I realised was a very heel-heavy show, we do have a very feel-good ending to WrestleMania Night 1. And it gets a 100. Yeah, I did fucking buy a big special set for it, so I did expect that. But yes, what a show. And we're only halfway done. We have Night 2 to come, still. With CM Punk and Seth Rollins, with Sami Zayn and Bobby Lashley, with the ECW Women's Style Triple Threat match, with Tribal Warfare, with Dakota versus Candice. After what we saw tonight, that's now got some extra spice on it. And a whole lot more. But yes, media scrum time, I guess. We are here. We're taking our seat. The media scrum is all around. And yes. With Jacob Fatu having won the ECW World Heavyweight title tonight, it's the start of a big push for him. Now I decided to put the world title on him for no reason. Actually, he's a bum. I have a lot of faith in him. He's been scoring really well. WrestleMania Night 2 is traditionally a transition point of WWE, is right around the corner. Do I have big plans for it? Do I? Yeah, it's going to be an amazing show. You saw it tonight. For Axiom won the World Tag Team Championships. It's a long reign on the cards. I'm not committing to anything. Let's see how their reign develops. So, Drew McIntyre is off to make movies. Are you happy for him or annoyed that he'll be away for a lengthy period of time? If you want my actual answer, it's this one. But it is a great opportunity for someone else to take up and take his spot. So yeah, Drew's going away again, by the way, in case I haven't mentioned. I think I did actually. Did I mention it on SmackDown or like last week's SmackDown? Can't remember. But if I haven't, yeah, he's going away again soon. So if he gets written off TV again, that's why. And like, I know Drew only has that because I failed a goal once, and it was like, put movie star on some of your major stars. So like, it's my own fault, so like, I can't really be angry. But like, yeah, it's causing me some headaches, but I'm pleased for him. If Johnny Gargano having won the Cruiserweight title tonight, it's the start of a big push for him. I've got a lot of faith in him. Same with Kyrie. And the movie scrum is completed. What a boring media scrum. You know, it's sort of like real life. But yes, what matters more is what you thought of the show. Do let what you thought in the comments below. And yeah, I'll see you next time for WrestleMania Night 2. See you then.